Mayor, thanks for spending the time with us. So we're at the very beginning of summer, and already shootings are up dramatically. What can a mayor do to prevent this from continuing to spiral out of control?
Well, let me first say thank you so much for covering this incredibly important story. Here at City Hall, our top three priorities are public safety, public safety, public safety. And what has happened at the beginning of the summer, but particularly this week, with 4 of our children, our city's children, on the street near a park, broad daylight, being gunned down in a drive-by. It is incredibly infuriating. It is frustrating. I am unimaginably angry at the senseless violence that's taking place in our city, particularly affecting our kids, and it has to stop. And everyone in this building is clear-eyed about the work that we have to do to mitigate these shootings, particularly amongst our youth and our teens. So the viewers at home can know that it's not just rhetoric. We are putting real resources behind beefing up our law enforcement, making sure that we're making intelligent and intentional investments in our social services and our wraparound services, our youth employment, trying to get at the root cause of this, but also trying in the short term to have as much resources that law enforcement needs possible to prevent these shootings. And whoever is responsible for this senseless act of violence that has affected our kids, we will hunt them down, prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law, and make sure it doesn't happen again.
To that note, police I talk with say this crime issue tracks back to juveniles who are committing crimes with no consequences. You have judges in Hamilton County setting low or no bonds in cases where a perpetrator has gun violations. I know you're not in charge of the judges, but you are the standard bearer in the city. So what would you say publicly to those judges? What do you want them to do?
Well, look, every single kid that is going through our system is an opportunity for us to win or lose a life, without question. These kids that are in this system, particularly the kids that are non-violent, we still have an opportunity to save them and to set them up for a life that is worthy and substantive and gives back to their community. But if there are offenders who are kids themselves, who are engaged in violent behavior, then I do think we need to make sure that we're holding them accountable and preventing them from going back and committing more violent crimes.
You want them held?
There's no doubt that we can have no tolerance for violent crime in our community. We are working hard here at City Hall to make sure that that is a reality. Now, when we're dealing with children, it's obviously more challenging. It's more challenging for our City Hall resources to have an impact on our kids. And so without question, we need law enforcement. We're increasing the resources there with more recruit classes, more bonuses to fill our ranks. There's no doubt we need more help with youth employment, increasing that by $2 million. We're providing direct investments to youth violence prevention through our Safe and Clean Fund that now has $500,000 in it. But at the end of the day, we need the full wraparound community, including the parents, including the teachers, including the faith leaders, to work together with us when we know that violence is about to occur, when we know that there's a chance of violence, to let the appropriate people know, not so we can fill our jails, but specifically so we can prevent the violence from happening in the first place.
I want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly, because I'm not sure I did. Are you saying if there's a child who is violent, has proclivities to violence, is shown themselves to be carrying guns, that type of thing, you want them held?
Yes, if you are engaged in violent crime, you should be held responsible.
No, held in jail or some type of program that does not allow them to go out into the public.
If you are a violent criminal, you should be held responsible. If that means being held or being put in some kind of a program, that's fine. But at the end of the day, from my perspective as mayor, I cannot have violent people on the streets continuing to perpetuate violence.
You talked about $2 million for jobs, $500,000 for another program, I can't recall exactly. And you said beefing up law enforcement. How much money are we talking about? What specifically are we talking about?
For which bucket? Law enforcement or social
Law
service?
enforcement.
For law enforcement, we have increased the recruit class sizes by a historic amount, the most since the 1990s. The challenge we're facing with CPD is a record amount of retirements and smaller recruit classes. So our numbers are getting smaller, which is very, very challenging because the population of Cincinnati is actually growing. So there's more people and there's fewer police to police our streets. We're doing everything we can to provide more resources to the police where they need it, via overtime, via recruit classes, via bonuses, to make sure they have the resources they need to intervene and mitigate the violence. But again, Chief Fiji will tell you that law enforcement alone cannot prevent this from happening, which is why we're also increasing funding for these social services, for these programmatic opportunities to interrupt the violence as well.
What are those programs that you think would, because we've been trying social services and programs for a very long time, and whatever we're doing, at least in some cases, is not working.
Yeah, well, we've been trying law enforcement for a very long time as well. And so there's no doubt that the answer is a comprehensive approach that is certainly law enforcement to prevent these violent acts from happening in the first place. And we're funding that to the fullest extent, but also getting specifically to the youth to make sure that we're creating opportunities for them to grab a book or grab a job rather than grabbing a gun. And so to do that, we now have youth employment at the city that is year-round, not just during the summer. We're funding through our Safe and Clean program $500,000 that will go to organizations that do violence prevention for youth specifically. We're also providing $2 million of human services funding to various organizations that do violence prevention. And on top of that, the city managers just announced an RFP of $600,000 for any organization in the country to provide us with best practices that they're seeing success for violence mitigation in other parts of the country.
So, talking about recruit classes, I mean, I think 30 out of the 50 spots were filled this last time. Is there increasing pay? What can you do as the mayor to get people interested in policing the streets of this town?
It's really tough. Law enforcement is a very, very difficult job. It's a very, very scrutinized job. It's a very risky job. And so it can be difficult to get people, particularly young adults from our city, to raise their hand and be firefighters or police officers. But no one at City Hall, including Chief Fiji, has given up. We're continuing to fund these recruit classes at historic levels. We're continuing to think creatively about bonus structures that recruit classes can get in order to make it more attractive. The chief and I have business cards that we hand out at various community events as an opportunity for folks to, with a QR code, to apply to be a police officer. We're thinking creatively about, facial hair or tattoos, or lowering these eligibility requirements to broaden our net further to make more people eligible for police officer duty. We're doing everything we can, thinking innovatively about this, because there's no doubt that law enforcement is a critical partner in this violence mitigation.
At least 33 kids have been shot so far this year. That's the highest in 15 years, and it happens to land on your watch.
Yeah.
That cannot make you happy.
It makes me angry. We're here to talk about youth violence, but we're also here to talk about what happened in Over-the-Rhine this week. Kids being shot near a park in broad daylight. And on the same day, a 15-year-old was shot in Price Hill. Just early this morning, 2 people in the West End were shot. Mm-hmm. It's devastating, it's heartbreaking. Violence in any instance in our city is unimaginable and cannot happen. But what is most tragic is the amount of kids that are now involved in shootings.
Children should be able to walk outside and play, or walk down the street.
Yeah.
Parents should feel comfortable allowing their kids to do such a thing. Everyone, I think, deserves the safe spot to live, work, and play. It's not a guarantee in life, but it's something that we should have. So right now we're talking about increasing amount of recruit classes. I want to get specific about this. Looking at potential bonuses for law enforcement. Take law enforcement aside, you're talking about social programs.
We're also on the law enforcement front, increasing patrols in those areas, both patrol cars and also CPD on bicycles, because we're hearing from the community that they want to see more of a presence of CPD in the community. So we're responding to that as well.
Would you commit to having the police department partner with the ATF and the FBI to do sweeps targeted at arresting people with guns and those trafficking guns?
Absolutely. We already work together with ATF and the FBI through our CGIC, our Crime Gun Intelligence Center, which is on the very cutting edge of policing in our country. It takes implicit bias out of it entirely and uses shell casings and other scientific methods in order to put a net around these drug and gun traffickers in order to get them off the streets more quickly. In fact, I just talked to the ATF director about our partnership here in Cincinnati and how strong it is and how we need to continue it moving forward.
You're close with the Biden administration. Under the previous presidential administration, the Department of Justice was tasked with, when there's a gun specification, put those people away. And that became a top priority for them. It has apparently shifted in the last couple of years. Since you are close to the Biden administration, could you talk to the White House at this level and say, we need you to reinstitute that?
Yeah, Tanya, I'd like to learn more about that. I'm not aware of the change in policy. So I'd love to talk to the ATF director and Chief DG before I comment on it.
Okay, that's fair enough. I do want to ask you about a couple let me ask you first about the perception of downtown. We're about to spend a lot of money in downtown.
Yeah.
The city, has been spending a lot of money in downtown, whether that's through Over-the-Rhine or, all the beautiful buildings that have been cleaned up and rehabilitated. Now we're putting in a convention center hotel and upgrading our convention center. But if the perception of Cincinnati is that it's dangerous, that doesn't help anyone.
It does not. Let's look at the facts. So the year to date, our homicides are down and violent crime is down. Now, no one is celebrating. There is still too much violence in our city. The gun violence is absolutely unacceptable. And we're continuing to do everything that we can to not just address the perception, but to address the reality and to make sure that not just our downtown is safe, but everywhere in our community is safe, all 52 of our neighborhoods. That is the goal, and that's what we're striving for. But you're absolutely right. We're making massive investments in our urban core and specifically our downtown. And particularly since the pandemic, our downtown, like many downtowns in the country, because of remote work, has been challenged by less density and less people downtown. That's why we're committing to so many large investments, whether it's programmatic, like Blink. The City Hall gave $1 million to Blink last year in order to bring more people downtown in person to help our small businesses and our local economy. The Brent Spence Bridge, caps on Fort Washington Way. You mentioned the Convention Center Hotel. All of the massive investment going on in the West End. The future of Cincinnati depends on these investments being successful. And in order for them to be successful, public safety has to be a priority. That's why I started this conversation by saying public safety is our first, second, and third priority, because if we don't get that right, then nothing else matters.
I do want to correct you on one thing. Yeah, we've had fewer fatal shootings, but 21 to 22, we had the same, within 4, same amount of shootings. So maybe people were less capable of shooting straight. I don't know.
Understood.
But regardless, it's a lot. You think about Chicago, which had 50 shootings in 2 nights last weekend, and we had 6 or 7. It's not Chicago, but for a town this size, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of fears that we will become a Chicago or a San Francisco. Are you committed to making sure that doesn't happen?
Absolutely not. We are approaching this comprehensively, but also leading with law enforcement. The very first thing that we are doing in response to not just this shooting, but violence in our city, is making sure our law enforcement has the resources necessary, but also are innovating in order to make those resources last as long as possible. One innovation that we're doing right now is for mental health calls or addiction calls or homeless calls that come into 911, we're sending mental health professionals rather than police officers. And that is freeing up police officers to address these violent crimes. So they're making their resources last even longer, and we're giving them more resources. But
is that working?
It is absolutely working. It is saving thousands of man hours for CPD in order to address these shootings, which is frankly the priority. But in order to prevent this violence from spiraling, we need a commitment, not just from law enforcement, not just from our social services and City Hall, but truly from everyone. The entire community, if they know violence is going to happen, they have to let us know in order to prevent that.
We're hearing more and more in our interviews with people in those communities saying, where are the parents? Don't they know where their kids are, and that type of thing. Are you feeling the same frustration?
I'm feeling frustration for all of it. I mean, certainly parents are part of it, but the entire community, we all want this violence to stop. The good thing is we all have an opportunity to take responsibility and prevent it from happening, because we have an opportunity to mentor a young person. We have an opportunity to support a neighborhood that's looking for that support. We have an opportunity to say something if we know something is about to happen. All of us have a role in order to mitigate this violence, and I'm not going anywhere. This is my top priority. We're doing everything we can from a law enforcement perspective, but also from a social services perspective, and we will keep at it until we get this right.
I want to talk to you about employment in Cincinnati real quickly. There is some concern.
Talk about
employment in the city.
Okay.
So there is some concern. There's some strong rumors that the county may move 1,200 employees out of downtown Cincinnati and to Bond Hill or other areas. I would imagine that does concern you. And what would the loss of those 1,200 workers do to this city?
Well, the biggest concern that I have is moving 1,200 workers outside of the city into a neighboring county neighborhood within Hamilton County. That would be a meaningful, substantial hit to our earnings tax income, which is already hobbled due to remote work. This past budget cycle, we lost $8 million of our expected revenue because of remote work. And moving those employees outside of the city would only exacerbate that problem. If the county were to move those employees inside the city elsewhere, obviously that would be concerning, because we're really trying to make sure our downtown is thriving, and moving employees outside of the downtown would be challenging, particularly for our local businesses, but that would certainly be better than moving them entirely outside the city.
The fewer people who are downtown, the more likely that bad things can happen in downtown, correct?
I think that's generally true, but I'm more worried, frankly, about the impact to the local economy and our earnings tax revenue, because that has the effect of snowballing into a situation that would be very, very dire for our ability to fund our basic services.
I know we've talked a lot about law enforcement and social services, but do you have any idea how to get guns out of kids' hands?
Well, we're doing a lot on that front. So a vast majority of the time a kid has a gun, it's because they've either stolen it from a car or they've taken it from their parents. And so we're trying to mitigate that by encouraging folks to, if they are responsible gun owners, locking up their guns so their kids don't get access to their guns to either commit crimes or to just have an accident, like a tragedy we saw last year in Madisonville. And we're also, frankly, trying to educate gun owners about the risks of keeping their guns in their cars, because a vast majority of the time guns are stolen, it's from cars in our city. So those are two areas that are opportunities to keep guns out of the hands of kids. But at the end of the day, Tanya, the two factors that are increasing violence amongst teens are, number one, the universal accessibility of guns, and number two, the inability to resolve differences peacefully. What used to end up in a fist fight in the schoolyard now ends up in a shootout, and you've got social media catalyzing the ego and the neighborhood beefs, and it at times spills out of control. And so we're addressing the access to guns by making stringent, sensible gun reforms and by encouraging gun locks. And we're also addressing the inability to resolve differences through mental health investments on the social services side.
So much of it boils down to the family. I mean, we're talking, everyone I've talked to, from judges to social workers to police officers, they're very clear. This is one tiny percentage of one or two neighborhoods, kids, this tiny amount that are causing this many problems. And that it comes down to they don't have the structure at home. And so I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
I mean, there's no doubt that that's part of it. Kids who are coming from a broken home or from an abused home or from a neglected home, there's no doubt data shows and social sciences shows that they are more prone to violence because of that trauma that they're experiencing as a child or a young person. But that doesn't mean that trauma should define the rest of their life. And so it's our responsibility as city leaders to identify those kids who are in trauma, to connect them with the resources necessary to put them on a better path, a more healthy path, and to save their lives. That's truly what we're trying to do on a daily basis. And sometimes we succeed and sometimes we fail, but we keep at it every day.
And I think finally, I've trod down this road. I mean, I think I've beat the death out of it, but is there anything you want to say to the people, the citizens of Cincinnati, and those who want to come down here and enjoy restaurants and museums and shops and concerts?
Come down. I mean, there's so many exciting things happening in Cincinnati downtown and throughout our communities. Taylor Swift is coming. We just talked about that beforehand. Very excited about all the concerts and summer events going on in our city. It is a beautiful time to be in Cincinnati right now. There's so much optimism, there's so much energy, so much excitement about the future. We talked about all of the investments going on downtown. Look, there's no doubt that we've got to get the violence under control. But there's so much positivity and excitement in the city as well. And so I firmly believe that our future is bright.